Hello dear students, hope you all are doing well and hope you are coping up with the online studies as well. Here is the third poem in your 9th standard English, Have You Ever Seen? Written by Anonymous. Okay children, before we go ahead with the poem, let us learn what do you mean by homographs. Homograph means same spelling but different meaning. We come across a lot of words in our day-to-day life. Some I have just listed below. Letter, which also means the alphabet. Another meaning of letter is to write a letter to someone. Ring, finger ring, earrings. And another ring means I will ring you up. It means I will call you up. The third word that I have written here is tie, to tie a knot. Okay, and the next tie also means I like your tie, the tie that you wear it. So these are homographs. It gives a magical expression to the entire poem. Let us go through the poem now. Yes, children. On the screen displayed before you is the poem Have You Ever Seen? I'll read the entire poem to you and then we shall understand this poem using standard-wise explanation. Have you ever seen by Anonymous? Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the birch's bark? Now, to understand this poem, children, there is no underlining meaning of this poem. This poem is just a literary device which has been used to make it more humorous. The first stanza, the first two sentences. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Now, sheet on a riverbed. Sheet on a riverbed, children, we have bed sheets. But have you ever put a sheet on a riverbed? There are pictures displayed on your screen which will give you a clear picture of what the poet is trying to say. We have riverbed as a first picture. Second is your bedding, wherein you put bed sheet. Okay? Or a single hair from a hammer's head. We have hair on our heads. Okay, but have you anytime heard about hammer's head? Hammer also has head without hair. So it gives you a pun. It like, with different meanings. Let's go to the next two sentences now. The foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Now, foot of a mountain is called as foothills, children. Okay, the first picture that is showed to you is called as a foothills of a mountain. And the second one, they are, since it is foot mentioned, the writer is asking, the poet is asking, has the foot of a mountain any toes? Because we have toes on a foot, right? And is there a pair of garden hose? Now, hose means garden, pair of garden hose. Children, the way we say a pair of scissors. In the similar way, we call it as a pair of garden hose, which we usually use it to water the plants in the garden. And another meaning of the word hose is stockings. Okay, so here the first paragraph reads like this to you. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Here these are the different words like which are used as homographs. The words that are used in the first stanza is bed, head, toes and hose. Okay, these are the words of homograph. Let's go to the next stanza now. Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Now needle. Needle's eye, we thread it usually. We put a thread across the needle through its eye. Okay? And winking is to blink your eyes. So the writer is saying, does the needle ever wink its eye? Since we say needle has an eye, does it ever wink? Okay, and the next sentence is, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Everybody knows that every building has wing. A wing, B wing, C wing, D wing. Okay, we use the word wings. But do you know birds also has wings which fly? The poet is asking, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Again, a pun statement which creates a humorous way of expressing the things. Let's go to the next slide now. Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Parasol means an umbrella, and ribs means nothing but the structure that is there that holds the umbrella. Okay, so can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Now ribs is also means an organ of a human body. Okay, is to do the tickling. So can you tickle the ribs of a parasol, the poet is asking, or open the trunk of a tree at all? The tree, the huge bark of a tree is called as a trunk. Okay, and another meaning of a trunk is where you keep your things safe. Okay, so the poet is asking, can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? So here is a second stanza which gives you the explanation like this. Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? In these four lines, children, the words of homographs are eye, then you say wing, then you say ribs, and then you say trunk. These are the words of homograph used in the second stanza. Let's go to the next now. Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? The first picture that is shown on your screen is a rake, which you usually use for gardening. So the poet is saying, are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Usually we use our teeth to bite the foodstuff. So is it ever going to bite? Second one, they say, have the hands of a clock any left or right? Now the clock, children, usually we have minutes hand, seconds hand, hour hand, right? So but the writer is saying, have the hands of a clock any left or right? We know that we have left hand and the right hand, but we use the word hand for clocks also, right? We say the minute hand, the seconds hand, the hour hand. So this is the way the poet is just trying to create humor in the entire poem. Let's go to the next two lines now. Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the birch's bark? Can the garden plot? Garden plot is, children, the first figure wherein you design your garden. Okay. But another meaning of a plot means wherein you plan certain things. Okay. Could be a horror movie, could be a motion art, could be drama, could be entertainment. Okay. This is called as a plot. Now, usually whenever you want to see a movie, you want to see what exactly is there in the movie just to get a summary in 2 lines. We call it as a plot of the movie. Are you understanding? So writer is saying, can the garden plot be ever deep and dark? Deep and dark usually emphasizes the thriller movie. Okay, and the next line is, and what is the sound of the birch's bark? Now, birch bark is a tree, children. Those has a slender bark. The picture shows you that it is a birch's bark. Okay, and where do we use the word bark? Usually, dog's bark, right? We say dog. That is the sound what dog produces. So the poet here comprises of another few words of homograph in the last stanza. I'll read the entire stanza to you now. Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the birch's bark? So here the words are, homograph words are teeth, hands, plot, and bark. Okay, so here is the entire explanation of the poem. Have you ever seen? Come on, let us have a gist of the entire poem. Have you ever seen is a poem about homographs and their magic in real life. The poet wonders how English words such as sheet, head, hose, eye, wing, ribs, trunk, teeth, hands, plot, bark, other words which have different meanings can be used in the sentences. These are all words of homographs. These words are used in different places with different meanings, and when used in this manner, children, they have a complete different sense. The poet tries to create humor by using pun-intended comparisons. Pun-intended comparisons means a word that conveys more than one meaning. Okay, that is what you mean by the word pun. So the poet tries to create humor by using pun-intended comparisons between the literal meaning of a word. Literal meaning means the actual meaning of a word and their use in the poem. So that's all, children. I hope you have understood. Listen to the explanation again. And the next class, I'll be sending you the notes and the activities of this lesson. So when we do the activities, see that you keep your textbooks with you. Have a good day. Bye.